What did you think of the Wisconsin primaries and how it turned out?
Well, actually, I mean, it wasn't a huge surprise. I mean, we didn't think that Trump was going to win this one. Bernie Sanders has spent a ton of money in Wisconsin, and this was, again, a much more of a component of voter that has always gone for him in the past. He's won a big rash of states, but he still hasn't caught up to Hillary. And it just shows that she's going to have to just slog it out to the bitter end on the delegate votes, and hope that at some point, and I think it will come, the value of experience is going to finally be understood. Because what we're seeing with Bernie Sanders is he's appealing to young people mostly because what he says can't be done.
What do you mean it can't be done?
It can't be done. I mean, you can't just declare we're going to pay for every kid to go to college free, we're going to have everybody have health care free, we're going to have, break up the big banks. We're starting to be asking him now, and he failed very badly in that Daily News interview, well, how are you going to do it, Bernie? Like, just take us through.
Right, the specifics, that you are hearing questions like that to Trump as well.
Yeah, absolutely. When
about?
These guys finally can stop the hot air balloons and get asked questions about how you're going to do it, people start to think, wait a minute, he sounds like the boss who walks in and just says, I'm going to do it, and hasn't got a clue how.
Tina, however, how come Hillary Clinton, people say Hillary Clinton's got a woman vote problem, that she's popular among women over the age of 65, but younger than that, she's having a hard time coalescing them. Why?
Well, first of all, I think it is a young issue, and I think that young women, in that sense, it's good. The young women and young men think the same way, right? The young people like his message. There's a lot to like about his message because it sounds so kind of blow up the world, out of the box, Occupy Wall Street.
I think young people are smarter than
that. Yeah, they are,
though.
but I also think young people love to feel that things can be done, and that's what the great thing is about being young. I think, listen, I know a ton of young women who love Hillary Clinton. I mean, my daughter's 24, and all of her friends are crazy about Hillary Clinton. In fact, they're giving a fundraiser for Hillary Clinton, and they think she's a really cool, powerful
woman. Do you think she's going to be in trouble here in New York?
I think she'll win New York. I do think she'll win New York because I think she has a record.
The question is by how much, right?
Well, by how much, yes. But a win is a win, as we know. So I do think she'll win in New York. But, I think her campaign has had a tough time. It's been a hard slog. And I think it's frustrating for her not just to be able to focus at this point on the Republicans, because that is such a meltdown and such a shout.
Well, and that's the problem. She's been having to fend off Bernie Sanders. Why hasn't she been able to put him away at this point? But Tina, let's move to your roots, your homeland, the UK. And you mentioned Brexit, right? So that we're only a few months away. Where do you stand on whether the UK should stay or not stay in the EU?
Well, I think we should stay in the EU because I think that sharing intelligence is enormously important. I think that the decision to go back into kind of little England is not viable in the world of today. I mean, you can pretend that globalism, is something you can sort of remove yourself from, but actually, I don't think it is. I think that ship has sailed. So I'm a big favor of staying, but I don't think it's going to win.
Then why is the public so split on this?
Well, because, quite honestly, I think people just are in the mood to just reject in the same way that, that Scotland wanted to suddenly go independent. There's a sense that big stuff just slows you up. And again, I understand that feeling. It's true when you're in any kind of corporate situation. The big takeover happens and suddenly all the energy goes out of the room.
Or the status quo.
Or the status quo.
Enough.
It's not enough. And I think there's a huge amount of bureaucracy about Europe. I think that it slows stuff up. I think that it makes everybody feel that there's this big foot over them. But at the same time, I don't think that isolation is a 21st century position that is viable.